Hey YouTube, how you doing? MrRampro here, and we have the Buck 119 Special. As you can see, I've got a couple of them, and that was mostly due to just the coolness factor of the knife itself. It's got a pretty sick looking blade with that long clip point there, and I really just wanted to do this video to show a couple of the mods that I've done to this blade, and I'll go ahead and get a couple of things out of the way here and show you. The first being, although not practical, but a thigh strap hole, I guess is what I'll call it, slash a drain hole. And I used a soldering iron. There's actually a plastic sleeve inside of this sheath here, and it's actually a pretty decent sheath. I can't say too much about it. I know a couple of guys have talked about tacking it down here, making it a little tighter on their belt, but I've never really had an issue with it. I took a soldering iron, punched it through the bottom here, and inadvertently punched a hole in the bottom of the plastic inside liner. So now it doubles as a drain hole, which is convenient. I just put a little piece of leather here and figured that if I really wanted to took it down to my thigh or something like that on my side, which chances are slim, I could just run it through this leather strap, because honestly feeding a line through that was kind of hard, and then your tie down angle would be slightly wrong because you'd have it running through at that angle, and your thigh is going to be right back on this side, so it's not really going to work out. But that was kind of what I did for that option there. The rest on the sheath, there was no real changes. I did use the bicycle inner tube and put a cover over it and added a lighter and a couple other things. I saw a couple of guys doing that, and I tried it as far as like a survival blade, just to throw in a backpack and have a lighter and fire making capabilities with the knife. But I really just found it impractical and never used it, so I took it off. And now to the blade itself. Nothing different to the blade. I've sharpened it a couple of times. But the first mod that a lot of you guys probably saw was the hole in the butt cap here. It's just an aluminum butt cap. Excuse me. Drilled it out with a, I think a carbide drill bit, something like that, and beveled this edge here with a countersink tool, and just made it to where it wouldn't cut the leather, wouldn't cut any kind of lanyard that I did put in there. This is just a piece of leather for a lanyard, and it made it actually pretty good. I can get a pretty good grab on the hand. This is hard to do one-handed, but you can see what I'm talking about here. You get pretty good purchase on the knife handle itself. You still got a pretty good grip, and now if you drop the knife, then you're still hanging and dangling kind of deal. So that actually worked out pretty good. The next one was I took a hacksaw and put grip texture going down the side of this phenolic, and that's all it is just like a black phenolic, and just put some hacksaw hash marks in there just to make it a little easier to grip onto my skin, and it actually is effective. I know a lot of guys are thinking that it's not, but it really, by looking at it, you wouldn't think it would be as effective as it actually is, and it worked out fairly well. The back part, really I couldn't notice too much of a difference by adding those, but these sides I could really tell a slight difference in it. I say a slight, but I could tell a pretty decent difference in it, so that was pretty good. And the next mod would be a drill hole going through the top part of your finger guard and all the way through. And I did that just because I'd watched a couple of videos. People had used knives as survival blades and making spears out of them and all that stuff. And I saw one where a guy had attached it from here and here to a stick. And I thought that was a pretty good idea, and by not having a hole here might make that a little bit more difficult. So I added the hole there just to give me more options in the wilderness, just in case I needed something like that. It'd just be more convenient to have the hole there instead of wasting twine or line or anything like that trying to wrap it around the grip here. So it worked out pretty good, and that's really about it. No other changes to the knife have been made yet. I'd like to mod them out, and I just get kind of not really customized, but really just what I would want in a knife and what I could do. And I think that modifying what you've got, if you saw my stippling video, you'll know what I'm talking about, but modifying what you got to make it more functional for yourself has really been something that I like to do, and something that I find practical. People do it a lot of times, and simple stuff that you don't even really think about, but you do it. Some people break the little tangs off of an ink pen so it fits in their hand better and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, you do it all the time. It's just not too many people go out and buy brand new knives and then start cutting and hacking all on them. But it really worked out. I just wanted to let you guys know to not be scared and go ahead and try it. And you might be surprised with the results. So these here have not been modded, and I actually just bought these for, I guess, just to keep. No real reason whatsoever. My son will probably be hassling me about having a couple of them here in the near future. So they come with the sheaths and stuff like that. I've seen them in different boxing and all that other thing. I don't really get into specs. I already told you guys that in other videos. But they're really good knives. They're not a big camp knife. I did try to use them, you know, cutting little twigs and stuff like that. They worked out pretty good. But as far as like a big machete type knife, it really wasn't that. It's not really made for that. It didn't really work out the best way for that. And shy from being really cool in a Rambo movie or some kind of, you know, Arnold battle scene or something, it's really just a basic camp knife, and that's about it. So, alright, you guys be good.